All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for that particular theory that I put out a few weeks ago about Xbox's content delivery to finally show its ugly head to those who are somehow anti consumer, because that's what I'm probably going to start calling y'all. Because whenever I talked about that stuff, man, it seemed like a lot of people were upset. Some of them came out with, the trash comments and all of this stuff. And I said, I don't think we need to approach things like that. I think we need to look and see what the inherent value is for the gamer before we eventually start, getting all mad at the proposition that Game Pass is trying to bring to the table. So we looked up, say, and I've put this particular chart out there that I started making, and, it didn't probably make a lot of sense. So what I had to do was I had to go ahead and get like a screen grab from somebody who made a chart as to all the, the Xbox games that are coming to Game Pass and all the Xbox games coming to the ecosystem. But when we look at it right now, you're going to see that number one, Game Pass is actually trending on Twitter. I mean, a lot of things trend on Twitter. It doesn't really make too much of a difference anyways these days. Before you know, one thing is trend, next thing you know, it's already trended another direction, yada, yada, yada. But Game Pass trending has actually come up to the spotlight because in these next few months, it's going to be a content dump, like a content dump that's going to really make, PlayStation look like it doesn't really exist anywhere. Trust me. I mean, I know PlayStation fans don't like hearing this. And, as a PlayStation fan myself, I've just been able to kind of like feed myself a lot of reality over the years. So coming to the point where you guys are listening to my channel now, some of you mistake me for an Xbox fan. Even though this is the first generation I ever bought an Xbox after buying a PlayStation and was like, what are these guys doing? And I was like, well, this guy giving games away at a small price. So looking at it, it's looking really, it's looking really packed. I mean, yeah, we need to scratch off some games. Veilguard's not yours, Xbox. So let's just, let's scratch that. Assassin's Creed Shadows is not yours, thankfully. Age of Mythology came out. Shattered Space is getting low reviews. Hey, but I mean, are we surprised that Starfield is getting low reviews? Please. That's something that the community's been fighting over for a long time. So Starfield is still living rent free in everybody's head, both the Xbox fans, both the PlayStation fans, both the Bethesda fans, and the Bethesda fans that are mad about it. So I guess somewhere, somehow, this game just doesn't want to go away. Then you got, some other titles that I'm, kind of eyeing. Indiana Jones, I want to play. Call of Duty, man. I have not been excited for a Call of Duty game in years. Sorry, because I don't really play, the PvP. I like playing the campaign, but I never wanted to spend $60 for it. The last time I actually remember going out of my way to play Call of Duty was Ghost. I went to a local, game rental store and I picked up, the Ghost copy and I played the, the campaign and I loved it. And I returned it back and I was like, forget this. I didn't beat Advanced Warfare campaign. I was playing the PvP with a friend of mine and I started losing and got salty and I sold it. So that's how it goes. But the content dump is about to be very interesting. Now, here's the thing, though. I know some people might say, but there are just a lot of games I don't care about playing here, but that's fine. I mean, no one is you're used to a certain taste. You're used to a certain, type of game. You're used to a certain expectation. But right now, Sony is not interested in really bringing, those experiences because they're very expensive to make. They take a lot of time and their return on investment is very minimal across the board, except they're going to find a way to pretty much, vomit another God of War game, which is a very popular title and doesn't seem likely very soon, probably in the next few years. Meanwhile, Xbox is over here just throwing games, out there and all of the above. And I think it really does bring things into question. So looking at this particular nature of the content dump that is coming in Q4, probably in Q1 of next year, and then ongoing, is it ever possible for PlayStation to, be able to catch up to this? I don't think so. I don't think PlayStation can ever catch up if Bethesda alone and Activision alone continue to churn out games the way they already were churning out games before acquisitions ever happened. Like, you could say whatever you want about the nature of both, publishers' games, but they were bringing out games and their games are very popular, and their games are making money. Even when they made some serious mistakes, the mistakes were gamers calling them out to say, nah, you're not going to do this. Remember do y'all have cell phones debacle back in the day? That was their fans telling them, man, y'all got to wake up and, you guys got to, quit this madness that y'all are doing over here. And I think so far they've been kept in check with, a lot of their own audience is pretty much telling them, man, you just can't do nonsense and get away with it. And I think this has been, in my opinion, something that has kind of helped these companies to kind of understand exactly where they should stand in terms of their development. In the case of Bethesda right now, like I said, Starfield is getting them dragged and is giving them a good learning lesson. It's good for them. They need to basically understand what the fans say they want. Never been a Bethesda fan. I did enjoy Starfield. I'm a space nerd, so everyone's different. I'm low maintenance in a sense. So when I flew out there and I saw planets, I was like, ooh, nice, great, whatever. And I played a little bit, and then I was busy, and I kind of put it down for. Since then, I haven't touched it because I'm just stuck, like I said, in loop of these fighting games and action games that I play. But, again, it's good for them to be able to get this learning so the fans know exactly what it is that they would like and what it is that, what they would need to develop for their fans in, say, upcoming big titles. And even the Elder Scrolls game, as it's coming, I'm sure they're probably going to be thinking very carefully as to how they're going to go ahead and, present the game to their audiences. Now is not the time to mess around. And that's good, too. The gaming industry is a very interesting, and dynamic place as it stands right now. I don't really think, many people are considering that for you to get a bad game right now is for the company to truly fail in their whole task and doing exactly what it is they're supposed to do. But if they're any sensible at all, they're going to go ahead and take the time. They're going to go ahead and take what they're learning from. They're going to look at Ubisoft's examples. They're going to look at all these other examples and realize and figure out that, man, what we need to do is basically come out here and give our audiences exactly what it is they're looking for. So in the content dump, I see a lot of possibility for Xbox. Now, I'm not saying that this really does mean that PlayStation is not going to be able to do or provide something for its audiences. I'm just weighing and looking at the numbers. And if I count from 1 to 10, all I see is Xbox pretty much and its, other publishers that it has basically taking an unfair, game and playing it against PlayStation. It's literally 3-1, guys. That's pretty much how it is at this moment in time. So we're going to see how the content dump goes. We're going to see how the holidays and consumer spending affects all of this. We're going to see if this is something that people actually would like to, get into in terms of the Xbox games. And perhaps it may be that, Xbox comes out looking pretty strong, having all these offerings, being able to drop games all over the place. It may be that the economy is just not strong enough and they don't necessarily have what it takes. But again, we already know that some winners are going to be out here. They're just annual winners. It's just hard to basically beat them. But let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience. And hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.